All right there, everyone. Great to be back with you. We've got, once again, Bob Kudla of Trade Genius Academy here with us. If you're not familiar with Bob, you really ought to be. He's been with us several times now. He's the founder and president of Trade Genius Academy, which he started back in 2015 after 25 years as an executive for two Fortune 500 companies in the financial services industry. And over the past 5 years, Bob has amassed a 65% overall win record in the market. And so in our past conversations, Bob has been helping us make some financial sense of the coronavirus pandemic and the race riots and the like. And today we're going to talk about our post-riot economy again. We're going to be talking about how Trump is positioning himself for the fall and November election. What seems to be a kind of new wave of COVID restrictions, a COVID comeback, as it were. So it should be for a really interesting chat. So Bob, welcome back. Great to have you with us again.
No, good. Hey, thanks, Dr. Turley. How are you doing?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I'm fine, man. Just trying to stay healthy in all of this. Now, since we last talked, it does seem that what you've been predicting over the last couple of months has come true in spades. You predicted that the country would be going through a kind of geographical or demographic reconfiguration. And it looks like you're absolutely right. We're seeing really a massive flight from urban areas going on. I know my sister's been in Brooklyn for years and she is out of there. She wants nothing more to do with it. She wants to escape to the exurbs. People are leaving cities in mass. What are you seeing in terms of the geographic trends here that are developing?
Yeah, so nothing's going to change. I think this is going to be extremely persistent. So we're going to be moving from cities, I say exurbs, not even suburbs. They're going to try to get as many miles between the city rioters and where they live. Okay, there's no need now for a lot of people to be in the cities. I think with probably 1/3 of the workforce that went to an office will never ever go back to an office ever again. The businesses that supported those center city jobs are going to follow the people to their homes. So you're going to see that small business infrastructure just pick up and move with them out into the secondary ring of cities around any major metropolitan area. That's number one. Number two, we're going to be moving from blue to red. That's kind of a double-edged sword because sometimes the people that move blue to red forget that reason why they left blue.
Yeah, right.
And they try to turn a great place into a sad place. But that's going to continue. You're seeing exodus out of California into Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and then and some Texas, and then you're seeing from the Midwest down to Texas. You're seeing the Northeast down into Florida and some of the other Gulf regions. It used to be North Carolina too, so that whole area is going to do well. And then I call it the vitamin D belt. You're going to be moving from snow belt to sun belt. None of that's going to change. That's going to accelerate, and there'll be a whole host of problems and opportunities that are going to come from it. The legacy areas are going to be becoming increasingly draconian, and their tax rates are going to continue to go up, until these cities and states basically break, and break they will. So
they've already announced that, haven't they? That they're looking at increasing property taxes and the like.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where they'll probably get thrown out of office. It'll be very painful, and then services will get cut and things of that nature. The only thing that will save them is if they if the federal government or the Federal Reserve decides to bail them out by basically rolling over debt for them for the next 15 or 20 years to get past the basically the pension and the baby boom demographic longevity. Once that rolls over, then there's more money, if you will, to play with because the services won't be nearly as needed for medical and Social Security and pensions and the like. And plus, you're going to see mass termination of defined contribution plans. Even in cities and states, they're just going to put people on 401k plans. They're going to say, never again are you going to hold us hostage to, you made $50,000 a year and then you're retiring with a $130,000 pension because you jammed the last 2 years of your work with overtime and the like, and basically game the system. I think all that stuff's going to go away. So that's what's happening there, you know. And then if you look at from the retail standpoint, we're going to retail to online, accelerate. I think there's 22 retailers that have gone broke this year. You're going to see a lot of the mall operators are going to probably go bankrupt. That's all going to roll into the fixed income markets in terms of the people that have stuck their money in the clip coupons with these dividends, real estate dividend. Remember, everybody says, "Oh, can't lose money in real estate." Well, they lost money in real estate, residential in 08. The commercial guys are going to see it here in 2020, 2021 because it's not coming back. I mean, you're going to have whole office buildings empty in places like New York. And so that's, and then I think New York has, you never accuse these people of being too bright. So I don't know really what their game was. They basically were chopping the tree down, hoping it would destroy the guy's home that landed on their house. You know, because what's the value of living in New York anymore? Think about it. People would, you and I would never live there because it's basically, Armageddon on wheels. But if you think about it, people go there for the culture, right? The shows, the camaraderie, the restaurants, the vibe. A lot of smart people doing a lot of smart things. Well, there's no retail, there's no restaurants, there's no theater. Now all you have out there is roving bands of mob, and you're a target. And so why would anybody live there? So that's what we're going to deal with, and that's just that. Chicago's the same way. It had its own peculiarities, and Los Angeles the same thing. Oh, LA is a little bit different because LA days was a city that we're always wondered why there's a city there. It's more, we consider LA more like an area, but the metropolitan LA area has zero value. They want to go ahead and the school union wants to put forth a proposal that they're not going to come teach the children unless the police are defunded. There's Medicare for all. Well, that is blowing up big time because the mothers and the fathers of these kids saying, we got to work. We can't have these kids sitting at home. And so I think we reached a point now where I think Trump is sensing that. I think where people are, enough is enough. You're starting to see centrists now start to speak up about the cancel culture. You're starting to see even people like what I would call on the left and not progressive saying, hey, let's dial this thing back. We don't know how this thing took a life on its own, but there's a cabal out there trying to destroy the country, and maybe a little bit of a sense is coming back into people now.
Yeah, and it's all indicators seem to suggest that Biden is going to embrace that farther left element. We had the primaries yesterday and in June, and Doug Schoen, the Democratic pollster, pointed out that in virtually every Democratic primary, the far left challenger, the Democratic Socialist challenger, either won or came very close to winning the nomination in relation to the very well-financed, center-left mainstream Democrat. And so, yeah, it seems like, and he recognized that pressure that they have in trying to stave off this far-left insurrection, as it were, within the party, that pressure is causing the party as a whole to move more and more to the left. And that even Doug Schoen recognizes that's really bad news for the Democrats come November.
Yeah, and right. I mean, look, Biden adopted Bernie Sanders, his platform and plank in AOC without any hesitation whatsoever. You got to realize, look where their base is, right? Their base is urban poor, right? And and intellectual white. And I think with the draconian lockdowns, I think they lost the men. And then I think with this whole overreach on the racial injustice front has pushed the men away. And you can see it in the poll numbers. They can't even hide them anymore. People, they're just everybody's breaking towards Trump. And then if you're a young lady and you live in the city, are you feeling any safer with basically your mayor and your governor saying we're going to defund the police? And basically you're on your own, but thank you for your support of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the people may tell you they're going to vote for Biden, but they'll end up voting for Trump. Even if they don't like him or like his style or his approach, they just know that he's not lethal.
Right.
Or Biden presidency can be potentially lethal. To people. Well, look at it. Black Lives Matter. I mean, they've done more to kill more black people than any cops done in the last decade, and they've done it all in 3 weeks. I mean, the fact that that's not being hammered is a travesty of the journalism. But people see that. You and I aren't the only ones that see that. I mean, it's obvious to everybody.
And given too that it was admitted by the Atlanta mayor, if you recall, they had their own little chop, setting up there, and unfortunately, as a result, an 8-year-old girl was shot to death. That's when the governor Kemp there in Georgia finally called the National Guard to come into Atlanta. But the Atlanta mayor, who was all pro BLM, had held a press conference, and she said, look, we've just got to admit this, that we're shooting each other. This has nothing to do with white police officers or systemic racism at this point. And you would have thought that such a bold statement would have been on every, front page, or this would have been some major reflection, right? To put it all in context from our enlightened pundits. But no, they ignored it.
Because they're all trapped. If they push that voter block away, they have nothing.
Right.
So, that's the problem they have. They're captive to their own base, and their base is violent. And
wow.
So, and aggrieved. And that's how they're letting it out. But that all plays into Trump's hands. Now he obviously can't blow it. And you can see now that he's starting to take the oxygen out of the room. Yesterday he did that 1 hour and a half press conference, with basically with a campaign pitch, forced the press to listen, because he basically read off all of Biden's stuff, and they'll never cover that. Biden will never tell people that that's what he's for. So Trump said, well, I'm going to read it to you guys, so you guys are forced to cover it. And this is what he's for, and I think that today he's talking about infrastructure. So you're going to see him now every single day do something. With the lockdowns, I think we're getting lockdown fatigue here. People aren't dying. I should say that people are dying, but people die every day. And so, it gets to the point now where when's enough's enough on that. And now we're going to the point where, we're 6 months into this. You can't give us any answers, and we're going to have to start living our life.
Right.
And there's countries out there that are doing it. You can see it. All the Nordic countries have moved forward. So why can they do it and we can't do it here in America? And you're going to see Trump will start banging on that drum too, saying, hey, we flattened the curve. We flattened the death curve. We got to move on.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Higher case count, but lower death count. So, that calculus, it's almost impossible to justify further draconian shutdowns or anything like that.
Yeah, and see, we're coming into August now where there won't be any of the federal money's gone. So, I think a lot of pressure on a lot of people now. Now you got all these unemployed people that aren't receiving any money. So Trump's going to say, well, you can solve that. And your lockdowns, get people back to work.
Right.
We'll provide money for people going back to work. And that's what you're going to see. He's not going to let them run this 600 a week thing out now for another 6 months, because I found out all these people do is run around and cause mischief. You got to get people back to work. And I think that's going to be part of his strategy.
To pivot there, so then how do you think we can best position ourselves financially in this particular context here with the specter of possible COVID comeback and this mass exodus from our cities?
Oh, it's easy. It's going to be silver and gold in the miners. So you know, we're now pressing up against all-time high gold. Silver keeps moving up a little bit every single day, and the miners are all catching bids, and they recognize that the Federal Reserve can't put the brakes on. They can't lift interest rates, and so you're going to see those things continue to move. It's a really simple story. The tech stocks will start burning themselves out. I mean, you know, you have Tesla at $246 billion market cap. They don't make any money. You know, so at some point, people are going to say, "Hey, silver miners and gold miners, they're undervalued. So let's start shifting our money over there." And when that money starts to move over there, you'll start seeing multi-% moves in days. And we've seen this in 2010, where, you know, you've seen gold and silver, you know, double and triple, and the miners go up 800 to 1,000%, you know, in 9 months to 18 months. So that's what we're expecting now. We have doubles in all the miners already. But now next phase is coming when we start breaking out of ranges. You'll start seeing really big movement in the gold and silver miners, and that's where we're positioned, and that's where we're helping people, and that's how we're helping people, you know, make money and make these trades.
Bob, are you inclined more towards physical gold and silver, or do you do the funds? How do you approach that?
Yeah, people ask me that all the time. I think you have to have some stacked. You know, I call it to get out of the country money. You know, you're not going to walk around and go to the grocery store with a bag of gold. You probably won't make it there. And but if you have gold miners and silver miners, or gold funds and silver funds that are in the market, you can monetize those. So there's ways in which you can buy and sell them without these expensive commissions that you have with physical, and it's extremely liquid. If I don't like the price of silver, I can press a button. I'm out of it right now. Or if you don't like the price of silver and you have it in your vault, you have to take it down to the guy. He's going to take his haircut. He's going to say, "Oh, it's going down. Maybe I can't buy it from you right now." You know, there's no guaranteed market in there. Where the stock market is a guaranteed market because it's so liquid. So that's why I like trading it in the markets versus just stacking it. That's fine if you want to stack it, but if you want to trade it, you'll make much more money. You're leveraged 4 to 8 to 1 on the movement of gold and silver to these underlying miners.
Excellent. I have I'm going to embarrass you. I have a testimonial here off the website, and I think it's very interesting because it says, "I've been a Trade Genius customer for nearly 2 months. There isn't any way that I could give a higher rating for your service. The trade alerts that you provide are amazingly accurate. The thing that I did not expect from you is the help that I received in terms of trading psychology. Without that help, I would have failed miserably. I was ready to quit trading. I was losing too much money with your alerts. With the trading psychology help, I now have a very positive outlook going forward. The VIP room is invaluable. Without the VIP room, I would have lost money and quit by now." Oh my, oh my. Come on now, Bob, give us a little sneak peek. What is this VIP room?
So we have chat rooms that we have for stocks, and we have a chat room for cryptocurrency. But we have a room called the VIP room, and we couldn't figure out another name for it, but it's actually how you and I are talking. It's basically a voice kind of a chat room where we can interact with, you know, a smaller number of traders. And we have two kinds of traders in there. Some really experienced traders that trade the futures and some more esoteric option trades. And then we have people that are brand new that kind of need to ask a lot of questions and are uncertain of things, or they start doing things and sharing them with us, and we start asking, "Why are you doing that?" and helping them understand and talk it back to us. And I think this individual himself he said he had more of what he called a gambler mentality in terms of you know, just like the action.
Psychology and it, right, yeah.
Yeah, like the action as much as he liked winning.
Okay.
You know, and so we helped him understand that winning is more important than action. And that, you know, look for and ironically, he's in the baseball kind of field, is look for the best pitch. So don't necessarily start swinging at every pitch coming your way, but look for, and so we put him on a strategy that kind of helps him understand how the market works every day.
Right.
And I don't know if he mentioned anything, but he pretty much has doubled his portfolio. Now it's a small portfolio, but he's doubled it in the 2 months versus taking some significant losses prior to us. So he just loves the service, and probably another month or two he'll be all polished up. He'll stay with us because we still give signals out, but at least he understands what he's getting and to be able to trade those.
Here's another one, Bob. Trade Genius has given me the confidence to embark on a new career in stock trading. Although I'm just in the early learning stages of learning the system, I've been able to gain several important insights that have already proven to be profitable. In just 10 days, I've already been able to see gains of 3.5% of my portfolio by simply following the Trade Genius ribbon software. So I love these, the VIP room, and now we got a ribbon software. Can you give us a little sneak peek into that?
Well, the ribbon system is our system. So it basically looks at price action, and it looks at where the best to enter trades and where to exit trades. And so, the market works like a radio wave. And so, it sounds so cliche, you want to buy low and sell high, but most people don't. They a lot of times they buy high hoping for higher. And it rolls over because they're unsure of themselves, and then they wait, and then they see other people taking the trade, and they jump on the trade, and the trade rolls over on them, and they're like, I lost money. And you do that a couple times, and you lose your confidence. This is telling you trade is setting up. There's rules behind when you should take the ribbon trade and not take the ribbon trade. And then once you understand the rules, all you do is you just keep looking and searching and setting alerts for the stocks that you like, and you end up just becoming successful over time. And he's still in the training process right now, and I know who that is, and he's now starting to take trades on his own and getting very comfortable with it. And he has a pretty good sized portfolio so for him to make that kind of return is pretty good. We don't trade penny stocks, so we're not Robin Hood kind of things. We're not out there watching the news and seeing what we could day trade. This is if you want to get wealthy over time. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a marathon. And we're going to help give people tools. And when this market rolls over, all those get-rich-quick guys are going to be busted. And our people are going to be positioned to take the trade the other way.
It's the way it always happens, right? If anything is worth doing, you have to pay for it ahead of time. Anything that's illicit, you pay for it after. So,
this is a business. You got to treat it as you got to put the time in.
Yeah.
You got to work your hourly wage, and it comes. It just takes time, and everybody's kind of, we call it their own private Idahos. Everybody has their thing they have to work on about themselves. No matter how good you are, people tend to, trading is more of a look inside yourself. And once you kind of understand why you make those trades that you make that don't work out, then, the system will help you see it. And then it's up to you to, we call it see trade, take trade. Okay. And then once you see it, take the trade, and then manage the trade and then exit the trade. Versus a lot of people like see the trade, ask somebody about it, check the news, take the trade, lose money on the trade.
Right.
So so that's what we do, and day in and day out, and we do it pretty well, and we just grind people every day. And so I think when gold and silver start taking off, people are going to we'll be able to make significant returns. We're not quite there yet. We're bumping up against it. I'm expecting them to try to push it down a little bit because I think it scares the bankers that gold and silver will break out, but it's going to be unavoidable. And once it breaks out, it's like somebody stepping on a toothpaste tube. Then it'll just go. Yeah. And you want to be positioned. You want to have some positions already. You want to know how to trade this thing, and then you can just sit back and make money.
Wow, fantastic, Bob. Thank you so much for helping us bring some clarity to this whole crazy world here, especially in relation to our finances. How can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
Yes, so go to tradelikeagenius.com or tradegeniusacademy.com. You can chat with us, you can text us, you can call us, and you can take advantage of 6 bundles that we put together. They go from the simplest to the more comprehensive. Bundles 1 through 6. We pre-discounted those up to 65% off regular pricing, where you can go to the store and pick anything individually that we offer for 40% using the promo code FREEDOM. And we trade stocks, we trade cryptos. We have the VIP room where we trade futures. And then we also have a number of different what we call personal coaching or educational bundles too, where people can actually get training that we put together, and also get personalized coaching too to help you become more effective. But you have till Saturday to take advantage of the deals. So I think that's the 18th.
All right, very good. So click on that link below. We'll make sure to have a link below by Saturday. Very important. Excellent. Bob, thank you so much. You're an invaluable resource. You're having a wonderful service here, and you're helping more people than you can imagine. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one.